I just don't want to give him anything today, so okay. Wow. Wow, oh my days, that's an incredibly easy win. What is that? Hello everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of How to Destroy, which will be 5 to 10 minute episodes of different chest openings. I will try to do as many as possible and as thoroughly and precisely according to the engine as possible. But for today, we will just be talking about the infamous Alien Gambit, and specifically the Alien Gambit Declined, which will be very important to have in your toolbox if you do play or you're wanting to play the Alien Gambit, as these lines and traps are likely to arise. Now, the Alien Gambit is played by white against the Caro-Kann defense, which is known for being extremely solid. And this is where the Alien Gambit really comes into play in decimating your opponent's defense and preparation and throwing them in the deep end, as the Alien Gambit itself is a very new idea and opening by the Witty Alien, the YouTuber slash streamer. So no dusty theory books have been written on it, so your opponents are likely to be unaware of its venom. So before we dig into the main lines and traps, I quickly want to show you a game I recently played against the A18-1900 in Rapid, just to give you a taste of what it can do. So e4, for the Alien Gambits, as I said, the Caro-Kann is going to have to be played. So we start as white with e4. Our opponent plays c6. We take the center with d4. And now the most common, the whole point of playing c6 is to anchor d5. So black will lash back. And now here you have the choice of either knight c3 or knight d2. I like playing knight d2. It's just it's much more rare and it just feels fancy. So play it basically. So black will take back, and now here the main line follows, not with the Alien Gambit, but the main line of the Caro-Kann. Black will attack white's knight. The knight will hit the bishop will go back, and yes, you have this idea to almost trap the bishop and play like that. So you get all these systems, but we will be avoiding all of that theoretical nonsense. So if black does go here, we will always jump into g5 with the knight eyeing up the bad boy f7 pawn, and just try to capitalize on that. And important to note, we will only sack the knight when h6 is shown. Or we play the Alien Gambit where we sack the knight on the e6 square. Quite remarkably, it looks like an impossible move. They just take back, but we have a lot of pressure on these weak light squares around the king. The king is boxed in, and any check on this diagonal will deliver a fatal blow. So anything like this, like that's unstoppable, for example. And we will quite literally fork our opponent. And yeah, it's a deadly opening, but the Martian Gambit will be for another day. Today, as in the game, we will be discussing the Alien Gambit, which follows knight f6. We always hop the pony into knight g5, eyeing out f7. And remember, I said we only sack when h6 comes, so develop the rest of your pieces. And then here our opponent was playing quite solid, defending the bishop. Logical, except it is a mistake or blunder, quite actually, because we can hop both ponies in. So I have that f7. The only defense they have is bishop g6, and here we can play the lovely, it looks like a slow move, bishop d3, but if they take, we just take back, and they can't stop this f7 idea. If they don't take, if they just play a random move, we will take, and they still have not managed to stop us getting in here. So in the game, our opponent went Bishop g6, I didn't see this simple but effective idea, and play the second best move, bishop c4, because it also long range plays on that weak f7 square. And here, look at that eval bar. From 0.8 to 5, a 5-point advantage. That's a whole rook advantage just by playing h6. It looks like, what's the problem? You're kicking out the knights. I can't take here because the bishop will take back, king will take back. I have nothing with the queen. This knight will protect. So what is the problem? The problem is these squares are only defended by one piece, and that is the f7 square. So when you take on the one, they take back with f7. The other square is left undefended. Simple logic. It was a bit of a bada bing bada bong for which one's better to take, but knight e6 does make more sense because you get the knight attacking the rook, whereas if you went here, you're attacking the queen moves, and it just feels the best move for white is costing and a little more indirect. And here we're looking for a knockout instantly. That's what we want. We want simple chess for blitz. Yeah, we want quick ones, and there's no good place to save this rook. If you go here, we take the free pawn, and now the rook's gone. If you go here, I mean, you might as well resign as well, because this rook can quite literally do nothing on the square. You can't even play g5 to open up the rook for some crazy defensive idea. The rook is just in a box, and we are just going to munch. We're going to castle, bring the rook, and kill our opponent. So here in the game, our opponent thought he got fancy with a little queen a5. But here it's important to not just block, but to gain a tempo as well, and still keep on pushing, even though you're up. Keep on putting that pressure. Finish off your opponent. The job's not done until they resign or they are mated. Job not done, son. Here, attack the queen. I mean, to be fair, my opponent just Martian Gambit the queen out of the game. But there's really no good place. This is the best move according to the computer, and you're just losing it. I mean, there's nothing. You can't. The game's over. You're just down a rook. So that just gives you a little idea. And now let's get into the juice, into all the little variations and traps. So in the line that we discussed, there's this naughty little trap where in the main line, if they don't bring out their bishop and they don't kick out and they just play a seemingly solid move, we set this little trap of bishop d3. Now, it looks like a free pawn, and it looks like there's no discovered check. How could this possibly work? Boom, sack the pony. Bring the king out onto a light square where we can expose black's queen and snatch it. So here if we take, is save their rook. And instead of running away, we have this knight. There's this whole cheeky line that I just want to take you with out of interest sake. And there's definitely something you can learn. Where if they run away, we bring the knight back now. And important to note here, what's crazy is that the best move for whites is to castle and just give away this knight. Because if you try, there are positions like this where sometimes you'll find yourself up a piece, or here it's equal material, but black's king is far more vulnerable. So if you save your knights, all of a sudden, you're the one who's getting crushed. So here, if you sack that boy, you all of a sudden have this massive initiative where you can pile up on the black king. And here, clearly, this pawn's under fire. Black plays, and we've got this idea. So black plays this move to hold that, to block the rook. Can you find the only winning move for white? Right. Sack that boy. Sack the rook. Queen takes. And now here, the whole point of sacking that knight was that it covered this square. Boom. All of a sudden, that black king's in a box. It's a little fish in a box. And you have this tempo on the queen. Queen runs away. It can't anywhere else it goes. So it just randomly goes here. All of a sudden, you're mated. All of a sudden, you're mated. So black's only move to stop all these checks. Hide in the corner. Sack. Look at that. If you take that's mate. So a little trap. If you go here, one of the most disgusting combinations I've seen. Bishop d6. You can't take because the knight defends. So you move the king back to its only square, and now we can just run wild with discovered. You can hop the knight here, win the queen, and that's just G of the G's. I wanted to show this line, where if our opponent does have their bishop out, they do have their knight out, but they have a knight here. So we can't do what we did in the game and plop both our knights here and gang up on the f7 square. Here we attack the bishop. If they try and save their bishop, we go after it. And here, instead of just giving our opponent mercy and snatching their bishop off the board, we push the advantage. We're trying to play this. It looks like they might be, they can take and hide the bishop here and escape, but no, they can't. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Say they go here, we will snatch, and then we're in there. Or if they run here, looking to hit our rook and plant the bishop on d5, we castle. We get the ring up, we get the rook out the way, and simultaneously the king out the way, and even better, as a bonus, we get the rook lining up on that f7 square. Here, if black just plays a simple developing move, we still have f5, and they still can't take because of the f7 square. And yeah, black is just entirely decimated. And here, if black decides to plant their bishop like we said, Alien Gambit, sack that knight. Sack that knight. If you look at that, the rook from castling all of a sudden is going to expose this king. And then you kick the defender out of the knight, hops, and here the knight was protecting the g4 square. And all of a sudden, the king is in the box once again. Here, you can always give away a bishop like this, and replace it with the queen, and then bring in the other piece that the bishop was blocking, and you have nature. That's unstoppable. If you go here to stop it, this lovely slow knight f5. What does that do? It covers this square, so that when black plays a move, you have the slow queen f3 checkmate, and the knight holds that escape square. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you were able to take something away from it, and hopefully you unlocked a new appreciation for the Alien Gambit, even if the engine doesn't share that appreciation. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next episode. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.